This are your speakers. So I'll pass it over to Memo. Memo, if you can introduce yourself. Also, if you can tell us a bit about your experience within the Champion program. And secondly, what would you say to someone who's undecided if they should apply to the Champion program?
For sure, and welcome everyone. My name is Guillermo Raya, also known as Memo. I'm a strategist at CINT, which is a tech augmented company. I have been working with Magento now, Adobe Commerce, for around 12 years now. I feel very passionate about the e-commerce ecosystem, the digital commerce, and the MarTech area. Um, and I mean, you will definitely apply if you have been building your career capital and your career around Adobe or Magento products. I think it's a great chance to mirror, like a lot of um, like experiences or challenges that comes uh, within this industry, right? Like it's a very rapidly evolving industry, and that excites me a lot. So the Adobe Champion program is a great opportunity to keep up to speed, right? Like on things that are new, that are coming, to keep you relevant at your career. So I encourage you to apply if that's your case. And I'm handing over to Ingrid for the intro.
Great. Thanks, Memo. Hi, I'm Ingrid. I am the director of e-commerce for Clampett Paper. So if you think of The Office, that is the company I work for, and I love them and I love it. Not quite a Michael Scott, but the type of work. Um, let's see, I have been in e-commerce for my whole career, so that's 25 to 30 years. And I have been on Adobe Commerce just for the past 5 years. Um, and the Champion program has absolutely enhanced my overall knowledge and understanding of the platform. I think I've gotten to work with some developers I wouldn't have been able to. I've gotten to meet a lot of people that I haven't been able to or wouldn't have been able to. So it's just been incredible for my own understanding of the platform and the changes that I bring to Clampett Paper. Um, it's really been invaluable. So I do encourage you to apply. Then I will hand it over to Manav.
Yeah, hello there. I'm Mano. Many of you might know me from the APAC user group. So I've been working with Commerce since 7, 8 years, and currently working as Magneto IT Solution as a tech lead. And my role here is to act as a bridge between our complex technical capabilities and clients' actual business growth. So I spend my days to designing systems that don't just work smoothly, but also bring the actual revenue and ROI and brands improved growth. So that's what I do. Along with that, I love sharing my knowledge and perspective, uh, virtual and in person. So probably you can find me anywhere, and I'm happy to be part of this champions program and learning with other champions. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And my name is Daniela. I'm part of Adobe. I'm the Champion Program Manager. And I can confidently say that working with all of the champions and getting to have interactions with them on a daily basis is the best part of my job. I learn so much from you every day, and that makes me very excited. I'm not as cool and as in depth knowledge as all the champions have within commerce, but I'm really looking forward to reading all your applications and, yeah, growing the program and moving over to our next year. So, moving forward, there's a bit of what the champion program is. So, the Adobe Champion program recognizes our most dedicated and product experts, empower them to accelerate their career, amplify their influence, and shape the future of Adobe Commerce. Part of the perks of being part of the champion program is you have quarterly basis, quarterly touch basis with a product team, so you can hear the product map, where's it going, new features, get to truly put your insights there and shape the future of commerce. It also is more than a recognition; it provides a platform for leadership, visibility, and meaningful impact across the global ecosystem. So it's truly a platform for you to step up, give your insights, step into that thought leadership position, and truly build your personal brand. And as I said before, this is a very interactive workshop, so please feel free to go off mute at any time if you have any questions. So how do you make sure your Adobe Champion application actually stands out and you're chosen to be part of the next class? So the objective of this workshop is for you to clearly understand what truly takes to become Adobe Champion, confidently craft an application knowing exactly what's going to be evaluated and what you can live out, turn your real-world impact into compiling events and backstories, communicate with clarity, credibility, and confidence throughout your application, and evaluate your own application like every reviewer would, and then you can say like, I'm confident and I'm ready to succeed and step forward. What the champion application is really looking for versus what we're not selecting based on. So what we're looking for is real impact in the community. So a lot of people tell me like, oh, I don't have the senior enough title, or I don't have the big logo behind me. And that truly doesn't matter. What we're looking for is for people who really want to share that impact and share that knowledge within the community. We want proven expertise backed by examples and outcomes. So it truly doesn't matter if you have 1 year of experience or 15 years of experience within the product. We really want to see how you share those expertise and what kind of concepts improvement you've had within the product. We want a clear commitment to the advocacy and ecosystem growth. So a big part of this is building a community around the product and getting to share those expertise with fellow practitioners. We really don't mind like high activity without meaningful contributions. So you would tell me like, ooh, I've written, I don't know how to say this, but like, I'm a very fancy title, so I lead this much of people, but I truly don't have in-depth knowledge about the product. That's probably not what we're looking for. On the contrary, if you have a lot of experience with the product and you really like to share that knowledge and mentor people within your company, that's something where it truly stands out in the application. Something we've seen before is a lot of people really want to use AI to have the most polished version in their answers. And that truly doesn't matter for us. We want to hear your authentic voice and lived experience. So don't use AI, or if you want to use AI for grammar and spelling, that's completely fine. But it truly doesn't sway one way or the other. We really want to hear your experience. And then clearly communicate that creates value for others. We really want to hear how you plan to contribute within the champion program. Visibility without substance is truly something we don't care. And the other thing is you're not just applying for the recognition of being an Adobe Commerce Champion. You're applying to elevate and strengthen the Adobe Commerce community and being part of that and stepping out as a thought leader. I'll pass it over to our current champion, see if you have any other tips and tricks from this. If not, we can move on.
So I would say share what you know online, right? And get involved into the community, right? Collaborate with others and like set your target that like whether you want to do this or not, because it will also need the involvement throughout the year, right? So you need to spend some time to contribute and to learn and to network with others. So start contributing if you are not, and I would say, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's a great point. Thank you so much, Manav.
For me, I would reiterate the authentic and lived experience. I'm very much the front end manager, right, and not the back end developer, which I think brings some differences to the program itself. And I was very transparent in my application of what my day-to-day activities are in Adobe Commerce, what my e-commerce background looks like. So just being transparent and really going on that experience, and not necessarily just with Adobe Commerce, but overall experience, overall strategy in the e-commerce world.
That's amazing.
I will add that, yeah, regardless of your background, of your current role, I think what has been very nurturing to the community is those different perspectives and being able to approach this product with curiosity, right? Like, I think, like being interested in my cases, I am very interested in the broader Adobe suite and how it connects with Adobe Commerce, but for other champions could be the curiosity on how to expand or get the most out of the platform. So if you are able to translate that creativity and curiosity, regardless of your role, into what you do in your day-to-day, I think that's add a lot of value to the perspectives that nurture the group.
And I would just say for me, again, I'd kind of echo everyone's else comments of just being authentic and really focusing on what your experience has been like, whether it be on Adobe Commerce or your other previous job engagements in the e-commerce world. And yeah, don't be scared to apply. I filled out my application. I definitely didn't use AI. I'm pretty sure I misspelled some words in there, and I just tried to tell everybody like why I'd want to be involved in this amazing program.
Thank you so much for sharing those experiences. As I said, I think there's no better advocates and people who do represent the program than our current champions. So if you have any questions, feel free to direct them to them as well. Throughout the application, if you haven't gone through, you're going to find a few open-ended questions, and this is truly where we get to know you and the value we'll bring into the program. So how you should be reading the application questions. We really want to understand what do you influence or help bring to life, what measurable impact you have created within your company, your community, or within the product. How did you help others? Like, we really want to hear that genuine story that we've mentioned before. Some most common pitfalls to avoid is to describe activity without demonstrating impact. So if you tell me like, "Ooh, I led this project," but you didn't say what the project is, what were the KPIs, how impactful that project was, that's something we cannot measure. Highlight results without explaining their motivation. So if you say, "Oh, I mentor people," but why are you mentoring? What makes you excited about mentoring people? How do you mentor them? That's the kind of things we want to hear more. Share intention without evidence or follow through, as I mentioned before. And once again, over reliance on AI tools without drafting responses. We truly don't care about how polished the answer is. We really want to understand and hear your authentic story. And the strongest applications connect action, impact, purpose, and proof. So please keep this in mind when you're drafting your application. So throughout the open questions, this is a bit of an activity in a workshop where we're going to deconstruct the question and truly understand what you want to hear. So for example, we have, what did Adobe Commerce enable my team to achieve? What we are truly asking is, how did I use Adobe Commerce to create measurable impact, and how can I help others do the same within Adobe Commerce? So this is a bit of the workshop. So instead of asking, please describe the value you bring into the program, what do you think we really want to hear from this question? Anyone can come off mute, or our champions, if you're interested in answering this, please go ahead. No one? No takers?
I guess I can start. Yeah, I think the value you can bring to the community could be diverse, right? Like, again, it could be like just sharing your experiences, like write them down, right? Like, and write a blog, a perspective, a LinkedIn post, or you can just like collaborate with a different role, right? Like to expand on a new topic. For example, now that GO and all the agentic stuff is coming, I guess all the perspectives are valuable. So I think you need to think out of the box on in terms of what value is, because I think value can be added through many different ways. And again, depending on your role, on your day-to-day activities, all the perspectives are in my opinion, very valuable in these days where the industry is moving very fast and nobody really knows how to predict what is next. I think it's the community as a whole. We will be the ones that will be, like dictating some next steps, which is also super cool, right? Like being able to be part of that conversation. So that would be my recommendation. Instead of just asking what is like the value on, say, a bottom line KPI, you can expand on what is the value you can bring from your perspective, right? So that's the tip I have.
That is 100% correct, Memo. Oh, so what we really want to understand is how have I helped the Adobe Commerce ecosystem grow? And how will I continue helping the broader community succeed? So thank you, Memo, so much for those examples. As Memo said, like it can be as easy as I do a LinkedIn post of what I've learned from e-commerce, and it can be I mentor people on my team. It can be like I want to keep up with the new trends and how am I expressing that throughout my company. So we really want to understand how you're helping your ecosystem and your community. Then the next question, why are you passionate about Adobe Commerce? What do you think we truly want to understand from this question? As I can, feel free to go off mute if you want to give it a go.
I mean, I also have a perspective on that one because in my case, I think I also joke that I never chose Magento or Adobe Commerce. It chooses me because when I took over an e-commerce, their platform was already there. So I felt in love with the two things, right? Like with the commerce as a whole, with the industry. So I feel very passionate about the whole ecosystem, regardless of a platform. But I also felt in love with Magento at the time and the community, and then now Adobe and the vision it has for like the industry as a whole, how it expands beyond only the commerce like type. So I guess my recommendation is that, right? Like your passion could come from different sides. And in my case, it's also, I like the problem solving, as I said at the beginning, the whole curiosity, creativity approach toward problems. So I think you can also take that approach and then see how it applies and fits to the Adobe Commerce platform.
Absolutely right. I see someone has a question. Please feel free to go off mute. Kumar, I think you have your hand raised.
Actually, not a question. Just want to add something.
Yes, absolutely.
So what I believe is everyone doing job, okay, everyone doing job as a Adobe Commerce developer, Adobe Commerce designer, solution architect. But what I believe is when I started my career in the e-commerce, I started living the Adobe Commerce. And right now I'm living the Adobe Commerce as a Adobe Commerce developer, architect, and that way I'm believe. And if you have visited someone my recent post, and I mentioned that e-commerce is everywhere, so Adobe Commerce must be there, and that we are trying.
That is an amazing comment. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think that's absolutely right. You want to truly understand, like, how can you keep expressing and grow within the program, and not asking, do you like the program? Instead, do you understand it? Are you enthusiastic about it? And are you grounded in something real? So there's a bit of how to deconstruct the open-ended questions. I know if any other of the champions have something else to add, or anyone else attending the call.
I would say how you are like interested to contribute and make everyone feel more confident about the product which you are working on, whether it's your customer or it's your co-workers or anyone, right? So how you are motivated or how you are interested, and what's your intent. So that also matters, I would say.
Absolutely, Manav.
Yeah.
Manav, I see you have your hand raised.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for their perspective and inputs. I have been working on the e-commerce for almost 20 years now, started in Magento 1 and now Adobe Commerce. And as Hiren mentioned, leaving Adobe Commerce, right? So there are so many misconceptions, misunderstanding about this platform with other teams and other customers, where I'm doing the advocacy and guiding them what is the right channel, right platform, and how Adobe Commerce is the best for them in order to B2B, B2C, and all kind of customizations. It gives in by default out of the box so many functionalities. And with the AI span, how it is growing, right? Adobe has leveraged it amazingly recently, what we have seen into Adobe Summit. So that's all going to be a game changer for sure in terms of next Adobe Commerce thing with the Adobe LLM optimizer and things what are coming into the industry. So definitely, these are all we need to make a good spread amongst all other into the industry who are working with the commerce, at least to make sure that Adobe is the right choice and right platform.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective, and it's really impactful to understand how you all feeling and how you're all seeing Adobe Commerce. So thank you so much for sharing that perspective with all of us. Perfect. Moving on to the next presentation. So as just going over, define the value. So please describe the value you bring to the program. You want to capture a unique perspective do you bring into the program. You want to answer who will benefit from my expertise. So am I tailored to bring the voice of the customer? Am I more tailored to bring the voice of partners? What unique perspective you bring into this table and expertise that will make you stand out? What problem can I help solve? So is it how are you communicating stuff? Is it understanding the true value, business impact of a specific feature? So you really want to understand what's your story and how you're going to shape this community, and what is my story and how will impact the community, as I mentioned. I don't know if any of the current champions want to say how they feel someone can contribute within value within the program, and just hear your perspective of collaborating with fellow champions as well. No?
I mean, I probably can add something it's more like personal experience here. I think also the program, the application itself, and then being at the program had helped me to find my own perspective, right? Like my own voice or my own way to approach what is coming on user experience, for example, right? So I think this is where passion and value connects, right? Like when you are able to find that own perspective, which I think is very valuable for the group at the end, right? So again, personal experience, I think the whole process has helped me to get there. So I guess my point here is that probably you already have one, right? You just need to refine it, or you already have one and you didn't know yet. But again, the process itself will help you to find that very own perspective that will be translated in a unique value you can bring.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Memo.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with Memo on that one. I think that it helped me figure out what I could do, not only in the community, not only in the user groups or attending the events, but what I could do for my current role, and how that could change the strategies that I was using, what was available to me that I wasn't using yet. Again, just understanding the platform so much more for me as well. I know a lot of people came in with a lot of expertise, and at only 5 years, I feel like, and at the time, 3.5 to 4 years, I feel like I was kind of the coming in with the least amount, but absolutely welcomed by the whole community, absolutely welcomed in conversations again with Adobe, and conversations again with everyone in the champion program about how I was doing things on the site that I was working on, and how I could better that, how I could, use case scenarios could be better. So it really, that finding how it works for you is important too. Not just what you bring, but what you're going to gain.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Ingrid. I think that's super valuable, and that's exactly what the program is all about. Moving forward, we also asked a question, an open-ended question about what's your history of engaging with the community and your acts of advocacy you have done before. So what we really want to understand here is, how have you actively contributed to the community? How have you shared knowledge to help others succeed? And as I said, the community doesn't have to be as big as I am a user group leader. Your community can start within your inner circle of connections, your network, your company. Who has benefited from your expertise when engaging and sharing that knowledge? What kind of community member are you? Are you someone who tries to develop? Are you someone who tries to share knowledge? Are you someone who is more excited about writing perspective articles, but because you're like me, you're terrible at public speaking? Or you're someone who wants to take the stage and share those experiences and with an Adobe Summit and share those expertise in a live session or in a webinar? How have you helped strengthen the Adobe Commerce ecosystem beyond just your direct role? Have you mentored people that are cross-functional to you? Have you mentored people who are just starting new with Adobe Commerce and you want to share their expertise to elevate their careers? As I always, open anyone to go off mute and share how they have engaged within the community and how they've seen that come to action within the Champion program.
Also, you can add that if you have participated in any beta program of the Commerce, or like you have some recognition with that, or like if you contribute to the repositories of Commerce, or those things of the engagement, right? And if I just add on apart from whatever is listed here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for calling those out. You're completely right.
Yeah.
And just so everybody.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. So just so everybody knows, for me, like when I did this to apply, I hadn't really been involved in like the Adobe, commerce community at large, like in the way that other people are. But mine more came down to mentoring people within our company, how to use the product, cross training other teams, and then ultimately bringing in other companies that we owned into the Adobe Commerce environment and getting them off other platforms that they were on. So that's really where my experience came from, to be able to answer these questions, actually having hands-on involvement and working with the product, not, participating in, say, a user group or something like that at first.
Thank you so much, Chris. And I think one of the main questions I get a lot is, a lot of people have imposter syndrome. It's like, I'm not qualified enough to apply. And what I always say is, you'll never know until you apply. So please, I highly encourage you to apply. And I'm sure you have more knowledge and more experience than you give yourself credit. So don't let that imposter syndrome prevent you from applying.
That's great advice.
I'm someone who has imposter syndrome on a regular basis, so I know what that feels like. And that future contribution plan. So as a champion, as an Adobe Commerce champion, how do you plan to contribute to the community? Be specific, and instead of just saying like, I want to write blogs, say, I want to write an article on how to leverage Y feature to obtain X results. Or I want to speak at a user group event and go over Y capability best practices. Or I want to create a webinar and help new Adobe Commerce admins get started within the product. So truly be specific on how you want to leverage this platform to help others and how we will bring that community together. I love that quote. Anyone can wear the suit, but being a hero comes from how you help others. That's absolutely right. And that's truly what we want to see within the Champion program. From our current champions, I would love to hear like, how have you contributed to the community, and what sort of experiences you had within the program that you felt like, if you didn't have this platform, you wouldn't have been able to do?
Sure, I can start. So I'm also a user group leader. And that wasn't something I was doing before the Champion program, or I guess it was kind of concurrent. But for me, I'm going to piggyback on what Chris said about, bringing that to my internal teams as well. educating my team on what we could be doing, how we need to grow. And so for me, being part of the user group, being part of the champion program, and I feel like I'm being a little redundant, but it really helped me learn a lot more about the platform. And it helped me to bring what I've learned to my team, to other people in the user group, to really outside of work too, in talking with other e-commerce strategists about what they're doing, what platform they're on, how their platform works. So it kind of allowed a much broader reach than I had before, in talking with people, and again, for my benefit as well as theirs.
That's amazing, Ingrid. Thank you so much for sharing. And
Yeah.
as I said, like the program goes beyond just the 40 champions in the class. It's truly how you get that knowledge outside and make everybody leverage it.
Yeah, I love our user group meetings. And I think I wouldn't have as much value in that user group meeting if I didn't have the champion program either. So
Thank you so much for that. And that's a great plug. If you're not a user group member, I highly encourage you to go and
yeah,
start
I
attending
agree.
meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will add that probably as a future thinking on future contributions, you should take into consideration how Adobe's brand equity play into your own brand, right? Like I think that gives you a very strong foundation for you to just verbalize your thoughts, right? Like it has been my case, right? Like probably before I had that before I became a champion, I had the need to verbalize some thoughts on social media or a written blog or something, and I didn't feel like I had at the time probably that foundation. But once I became a champion, I found that more easily, right? Like it's like a safety net for your thoughts. So I mean, regardless of that, you can start right away. But I guess in my case, you should consider that you will have that safety net. So if you are probably shy on that, you will count on that to become like a blog writer or a webinar lead, right? Like so, don't limit yourself by your current circumstances, right? Like once you become a champion, we have that support behind you.
Thank you so much for that perspective memo. And I think that's completely right. As a program manager, we really want to develop all of our champions to become better and keep growing in different areas and giving those opportunities. So thank you so much for sharing that out. So this is kind of the final check before submission. So before you hit submit, just go over those quick questions and make sure your application is ready to be submitted. The first one is, have I proven my depth of Adobe Commerce expertise and have you showcased your experience within the product? Second one, have you shown clear examples of how I act as a thought leader within your community right now or within your team and how you would step up? Third, have I supported my experience with concrete examples? Fourth, how I will use the Adobe Champion Program to elevate others, not only yourself. I've written a lot of applications like, oh, I want to become an Adobe Champion Program just to have the badge. And while that's amazing, you still want to see how you will help others grow. And lastly, would the reviewer confidently say this person will strengthen the Adobe Commerce ecosystem next year? So if you have a check for all of those, go ahead and apply. You have an extremely strong application and you have great chances of being part of the program next year. And always keep this in mind. We candidates are selected not only based on the accomplishments they have to date, as well as the impact and value and the participation they will bring to the program. So you'll feel like you have those amazing examples. It truly doesn't matter. It's more of what you will do as a champion next year. So we encourage you all to apply. So this is moment for Q&A. So please go off mic and ask any questions to our current champions, to me as a program manager, or to each other this is truly a moment for us to help you apply and have a strong application.
I would say just apply, right? I know major of the people who are attending here, and we know the power which commerce has and commerce community has, right? So just apply if you haven't yet, and yeah, probably we can collaborate and do something great together.
Thank you so much for that, Manav. And I completely agree.
Yeah,
Apply, don't let your mind second judge you if you are not ready, or maybe you should wait one more year. You'll never know until you apply. So on that, if you
Yeah.
scan this QR code, it will lead you straight to the application page. But yes. Any other questions? Any other comments around the program, around the application process, around the selection process? This is truly your time to have all those questions answered. Yes, Atish, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question around like product access. So basically, what I normally used to do when I used to work with like Magento Adobe Commerce is basically help people in my community kind of upskill. Like basically, let's say somebody is working with Magento 2, which is open source, and they want to scale up to learn Adobe Commerce or Magento Enterprise. So I kind of help them with the training part. Then when Magento Cloud came out, I helped them out with like the product walkthrough, how the whole thing is a little bit different. But right now, what I'm struggling with is that people kind of want to learn App Builder, API Mesh, and then I think Adobe Commerce as a SaaS service. But the problem is that they might not be working with like partners, like Adobe partners who have access to it, or maybe working with a smaller agency that haven't had that kind of relationship with Adobe, right? So I kind of help them out with like upskilling them with like some presentations or like the limited access I have. Like I work with a client, fortunately, who has access to those tools, but I don't think that is like the client is always free for me to use those kind of access to train others, right? So I wanted to understand if, like, let's say I get into the program, will it be allowed that, or like I can get access to certain products, which I can then demo or create a walkthrough for other people to kind of get an introduction, how the thing whole works, what are the customizations, etc. So I'm more like a workshop guy instead of like a presentation person. So I just wanted to understand about like, is that allowed? And then does that, this program kind of gives us access to those products, even if like I'm not really associated with like a partner agency?
Atish, this was the great one. Probably I can take this one, Daniela.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so the good thing happened previously, Atish, is like one of my user group event, someone came up with the same question, right, 6 months back, and in the open source Slack channel, probably you are part of that, or I can share it with you offline. There, they have started sharing sandbox account for App Builder to individual ones who want to practice for some weeks or month, and probably I can definitely help to get sorted with that. And yeah. You have been inspiring with your work in the Magento meetups you were doing from many years. And yeah, thank you for your contribution, I would say. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for that. I was more like inclined towards the other products. Like I think like there is a new product like Brand Concierge, or like I guess there is Adobe Journey Optimizer, etc. So I was not 100% sure about like what kind of access can somebody get to those products if I want to create like a product walkthrough or like design customizations, etc. that can be done on the product.
Okay, so for Brand Concierge, it's currently limited to the customers, and even though it's a very enclosed VIP for the partners, right, of Adobe, I don't think there is any way for someone individual to get the access of the product if they want to experiment with. So probably I can ask someone and get back to you if there is any way, right, for this one.
Okay. That would be helpful. Thank you.
The other thing I would ask there is when you're part of the champion program, you're not only part of the Adobe Commerce Champion program, you're part of the whole champion program as a whole. So if you're wondering about any other product or any other solution out there within commerce, you can always rely heavily on those experts as well and have
Yeah.
them help you in that way.
Yeah, and I'm also exploring like AEM and then the EDS implementation. So yeah, that would be helpful to get access to them as well. Like I kind of have limited access to it, like whatever works on my local without like the whole enterprise access. Those I was able to kind of present to people who were like exploring it. But always there is a blocker when like I need a little bit of a higher level access to get into like the depths of the documentation versus what I have access to.
No, that's a great
Yeah.
point. Any other questions? Please feel free just to go off mute or put them in the chat. I got a great question from Kalavarda in the chat, and you are unable to edit your application, but you're more than welcome to resubmit your application if you feel like you have a stronger point of view or experience you want to highlight within this application. I also got a question about which email you should apply with. You're open to apply with whichever email you want. We do have to make sure you're part of an Adobe Commerce customer or partner to be able to be part of this program, but that's something we'll verify on our end. So just apply with an email that you're more comfortable with. Yes.
Hi, Daniela. This is Bhavika. When I was going through this form, I have seen like few options over there, like which champion you would like to apply for, right? So I just want to understand, is it necessary that whatever experience you are getting throughout these years, you have to apply for that? Or is it something that you have interest and you would like to apply? Because I can see some of the champions, they don't have the background or the history of any experience for particular skills or something, but still they can apply for that. So I just wanted to understand.
I don't know if I understood your question correctly, but you're more than welcome to apply with the experience you have. So there's no specific requirement. I know that depends by solution, but at least for commerce, there are no minimum requirements needed to apply. So I highly encourage you to apply with the knowledge you have and the experience you have. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, it does.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And the other thing is, I know a lot of you have a lot of experience across products. So you're always welcome to apply to more than one champion program. So if you want to apply to the Commerce and EEM champion program, you're welcome to do so. The only caveat is you can only be accepted into one. So you cannot be a champion for multiple solutions. You can only be a champion for a specific solution. Any other questions, comments? If there's no other questions, oh yes, go ahead.
Hi. So when it will be launched?
The applications are currently open. They will close on June 5th, and then you'll be notified if you're accepted within September.
Okay. Thanks.
Of course. If there's no any other questions, before we close out, I would love to ask our current champions what has been your favorite moment about the champion program, and then just to end on a very positive note, and hopefully encourage everyone to apply.
Well, that's easy for me. My favorite has been the people. You, Manav, Memo, Chris, everyone that I've met through it.
I would say networking and meeting everyone in person in Champions Forum, and like learning from each other, sharing each other's ideas and perspectives, and collaborating for multiple things. So there are a lot of things, I would say, but if I select the one thing, I would say Champions Forum, which happens every year.
Mhm.
Yeah, and for me, I agree with Ingrid. It's really been such a welcoming experience, and we all get along so well. Everyone's from a different little bit, a walk of life, or a different level of experience, but everyone's just seemed to gel together so well. And being able to share all those different perspectives and get to know each other, I mean, it's been invaluable. And then also having the ability to reach out to the Adobe product team and get some extra help, and having great leaders like Daniela here to help us get us where we need to be if we have questions about something. I mean, you can't get any better than that. But definitely the friendships and people I've made along the way have been very impactful.
Yeah, and for me the same. The same is like the people you met through the whole engagement, and to Manav's point, like meeting all that people in person at the forum. It's a plus, right? Like all the energy and the conversations that happen when you are in person with these the fellow champions is really hard to describe. So you need to experience that. So just apply.
Yeah.
And that's why I love the champions. Usually people say the swag because champions get really cool swag. That's why I love my champions, and I do agree. The people who are in the program are truly what makes the program amazing. Manav, I see you're off mute. Do you want to add something else, or?
No. I'm good. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that will be the end of the presentation. Please feel free to reach out to me directly. I can input my email in the chat as well. So please feel free to email me at any given point in time with any questions you might have about the program. And very excited to see all your applications and review them. And hopefully you'll apply and see you next year as part of the program.
Yeah. So just apply. And thank you everyone for stay till this time. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Mohammed, I think you had a question.
No, it was not a question. I said just thank you. We will surely apply. And it was very clear. Thank you.
Thank you, and hopefully this was useful and help you and motivate you to apply.
Yeah, sure. It was. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
All right,
everyone.
thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Look forward to seeing
Have a
some of
good
you.
day.
Thank you everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all. Bye bye.